How does the USCIS define severe forms of trafficking? Understanding how federal immigration law defines trafficking could mean the difference between gaining legal protection and remaining vulnerable to deportation. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services defines severe forms of trafficking in persons as either sex trafficking induced by force, fraud, or coercion, or labor trafficking that subjects a person to involuntary servitude, peonage, debt bondage, or slavery. This definition comes from the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000 and determines who qualifies for a T visa, which provides temporary immigration status and a path to permanent residence for trafficking survivors. USCIS evaluates every trafficking case using 3 essential elements that must all be present for someone to qualify as a victim of severe trafficking. The first element requires a prohibited action such as recruiting, harboring, transporting, providing, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting a person for exploitation. The second element involves the means used by traffickers, specifically force, fraud, or coercion to control their victims and compel compliance. The third element focuses on the trafficker's purpose, which must be either a commercial sex act or subjecting someone to involuntary servitude, peonage, debt bondage, or slavery. Sex trafficking occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion to induce another person into commercial sexual activity, which includes any sexual act where something of value changes hands. Federal law provides critical protection for minors under 18 by eliminating the requirement to prove force, fraud, or coercion in sex trafficking cases involving children. This exception exists because minors cannot legally consent to commercial sex acts, making any commercial sexual exploitation of a child automatically qualify as severe trafficking. Labor trafficking requires all 3 elements without exception, meaning victims must demonstrate that traffickers used force, fraud, or coercion to compel their labor or services. The 4 types of labor exploitation include involuntary servitude through threats of serious harm, peonage involving forced labor to pay debts, debt bondage where services never fairly reduce obligations, and outright slavery. Labor trafficking affects workers across multiple industries on Long Island, including domestic service, agriculture, restaurant work, construction, and manufacturing sectors. A lawyer who understands these federal definitions can help trafficking survivors navigate the complex T visa application process and demonstrate that they meet all required elements for protection. An experienced attorney can also help victims gather the necessary evidence to establish their victimization and guide them through obtaining lawful permanent residence status. The law firm Shankar and Associates PC helps trafficking survivors throughout Nassau County pursue the immigration relief they deserve under these federal protections. Contact Shankar and Associates PC at 800-461-1467, located at 518 Plainview Road, Plainview, New York, 11803 to schedule your consultation today.